everybody, this is Working on Exploring. Thank you for joining our channel. We are continuing our longer first run trip with Maximus, the new rig, and this travel is from Washington through Oregon into Idaho, and the first time Maximus actually gets to do some boondocking in the National Forest.
It's also the first time we used our new 220 amp alternator to charge our battery.
This is our main route to get us down into Idaho and covers at least 631 miles over 3 nights. My goal is to locate new boondocking, and I was successful finding nice dispersed camping in Whitman National Forest for our second night. So let's get on the road. We are picking up supplies, and for the first time we actually now fit in a full-length parking stall and we don't hang out too long. That's pretty cool. So we are 3 feet shorter with our new tow setup. Were you successful?
Yeah.
What were you eating?
Nothing.
On our first night on this trip, we stay at another Boondockers Welcome host site in Washington. If you didn't see how we use Boondockers Welcome, check out the video on finding free overnight camping. I'll make sure I put a link in the description. Steve talked about our new tow setup and our past problems we've encountered in a previous video. If you are flat towing, you may also want to check out our tow video. It shows a great summary of lessons learned and things that we changed to make our setup even safer. Now it's time to get lost in the trees. I was very excited to find some forest land not far from our driving route. We headed to Spring Creek area in the Whitman National Forest, which has one established campground, dispersed camping sprinkled throughout, and a system of OHV trails. Being off season, I took a chance that it would not be busy and we could enjoy some quiet. I use 2 main navigation tools to plan our destinations. Google Maps is our main navigation tool, but when we go off pavement, I utilize Onyx off-road maps to navigate and track ourselves off the road. Google Maps directed us to the correct exit number 208, and then we arrived at the trailhead. We parked at the trailhead and hitched the Jeep to do recon. It was a couple miles until we located a side road with flat, somewhat dry area to park Maximus. Due to recent rains, it was muddy, which made earlier sites uninviting to say the least. There's the rest of our camp. You can see we're here completely alone. We haven't seen a critter. We haven't even seen any evidence of critters. It's so quiet. It's cold, but there's no wind, so it makes it tolerable. It's in the mid-40s. I have my lined pants on to take Cooper walking. All good. I love it here. Whitman National Forest off of Spring Creek Road. Morning, everyone. We have spent some time in Whitman National Forest Actually, the area we're in is Spring Creek Road. It's actually pretty quiet this time of year, but there were quite a few trucks and trailers in their OHV areas. It's a big OHV area. And with some rain, there definitely was some mud. But we found a great little spot. It's off the main road, and the area we're parked is slightly elevated above where the low road issues are. So we have had a nice 24 hours here, and we are moving on this morning. We've been gone from Everett for 2 days. We stayed at a Boondockers Welcome yesterday, which was really, really pleasant. Or I should say 2 nights ago. So last night we were here, and we are making our way down to Boise. So that's our quick update of what we've been up to and where we're at, and we'll show you some of our road travel. And we took the Jeep out yesterday, so we have some great Jeep footage. Found a nice little knob up higher in the mountains that if we were here longer, we would have actually moved the camper up there and camped up on the knob. It was really pretty cool with a lake, or maybe a gravel pit filled with water, but it was nice. And we really have enjoyed this kind of just peace and quiet and solitude. It's been a while since we've been out, and definitely it's the first time with Maximus that we've been out in this type of environment. Steve about killed me right here.
Well, you can see we were right there by the tree. We were still 1.5 feet from being off the road.
Yeah, that's still too close for me. I was hanging off the edge there. I can see your rear tire falling off the cliff. Phew, we made it through the second. Finally got out to go get some fun. Thanks to Steve. Steve is filthy. I had more fun than I wanted, like usual. Between rain, cloud cover, and now trees, we are nearly at 50% of our battery capacity. Finally, an opportunity to use the Ford's second alternator to bring our battery bank up to over 28 volts. This is our new 220 amp alternator, and Steve's been looking forward to testing it live, optimizing the voltage output, and hopefully reduce triggering the temperature shutoff.
We're getting ready to start our travel this morning, and as you can see, our lithium battery is at 25.6 volts. We have not been having much solar charging in the last few days. We're still, at a little below 50% charge, but we're going to charge with the alternator on our travel this morning. In order to do that, we're going to flick this switch on here. So normally, this is the normal off position. We're going to put it on, and as the engine runs, it'll give me the voltage readout that the alternator is feeding into the battery, and it'll tell me how many amps it's running. I increase my voltage out of the alternator with this dial right here. This is a 10-turn precision potentiometer, and it's set right now. It goes from 0 to 1,000 points, which just allows me to kind of figure out what things are. But I unlock it, and then I'll turn it, and I'll dial it until I get the right amperage for my charging. And this is going to be done at about 1,800 engine RPM, which is kind of my average highway travel engine RPM, and that'll be a very good stable number. The alt amperage may decrease slightly as the battery charges, but you won't go over what I'm going to expect. The gauge on the right here is the temperature. So right now I've just driven a short distance. I'm now at 31.3 degrees Celsius, and this thermostat is set to kick off at 118 degrees Celsius if it overheats. So I'm going to set this. This has got my new 220 amp alternator installed. I have yet to charge with it, so this will be the first time. And so I'm going to set this at about 100 amps or so and see what the temperature of the alternator becomes. My goal is to try to find what the steady state temperature of the alternator is so I know what my maximum charge is. The max cabling amperage I have in here is about 140 amps, so that's I won't be exceeding 140 amps, which is a whole lot of power. It's about 4 kilowatts of generated power going in the battery. As we idle up here, 800, 900, 19 amps, 1000, 50 amps, 1200, 90 amps, 1300, 1400, 1500. Yeah, so it tops out 1797 amps, which is where I want to be. I want to be just shy of 100, and you can see the temperature is climbing up to 55 centigrade and going up quickly because it's under heavy load.
This was challenging to record without blurring or bouncing, but what it shows is the charging amperage from the alternator cuts off once the alternator temperature reaches 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Our conclusion of charging the battery with the second alternator that day is that it could do 110 amp continuously, but as soon as we were climbing grades in the hills, the engine heat will lower that to about 100 amps or just below. You can find these type of technical write-ups on our Instagram, maximus.4x4.camper, for future reference. This is something that Steve maintains and puts out there a couple times a week, some interesting news of what he's done to the rig and what he's thinking about. So check it out if that's something you're interested in. It's a lot of good information. We decided, rather than land in Boise early, that we'd go explore Burnt River Canyon, which was recommended by our Boondockers Welcome host 2 nights ago. This area is about 94 miles west from Boise and was a short drive from our Spring Creek campsite. We drove the Jeep through the canyon admiring the limestone slabs, which are known as a climbing destination. So we saw evidence of busy little beavers, but we didn't see the beavers. They're hard at work somewhere else, I'm sure. There were also bighorn sheep in the area, but all we found were geese. There are many mining claims. We took the opportunity to stretch our legs and venture into one area across a footbridge. There are also a few dispersed camping sites not far from where the canyon starts in, and the sites are visible from the road and right on the river. Make sure you bring a pan and do some gold panning.
going to the airport.
Why are we going there?
To get rid of the wife.
Get rid of the wife. And where are we at?
We are in Boise, Idaho.
And what are we doing here? To get rid of the wife?
We're camping.
We're not camping.
We're camping next to the airport so we can get rid of the wife.
There you go. Anyways, second part of our trip. Cheryl's going away to Arkansas. Steve's staying behind in Idaho. And that's where we're at. Thank you for joining us on our travels with Maximus, our custom camper. We will continue sharing our upcoming travels along with Maximus mods and improvements. We enjoy sharing the camper project ideas and hope to provide inspiration for yours. If you like this video, make sure you click the subscribe button and click like to follow our projects and travels in the new rig. We have a great off-road travel route and wild camping to share with you next, and then we will be back in the shop. We hope to see you out on the road, and good luck with your working and exploring.